What is up, how it is? It's your boy Twisty, and today we're going to do a video of the top 15 farmable monsters. Now, it is a top 15, however, it's sort of my opinions on which ones, the order they should be in. So it's subjective, it's what I think of the monsters, so some people may think that other monsters are better than others. But the point is, these are probably the best 15 farmable monsters. There are honorable mentions which probably people can think of. So I can start off with some of those. Lulu and Shushu are good honorable mentions, and Vigor is a good honorable mention to have as well. Obviously there's Finn, Taharis, Spectra. They didn't manage to make it to the list because of various reasons. Jubel and Shylock and Azalea, which is the fire fairy. Yeah, she didn't make the list, but there are other monsters that definitely better than those, in my opinion, that need to be on this list. So yeah, so let's get right into it. Number 15. I believe he's farmable. If he's not, then we'll probably if he's technically not farmable, I haven't checked fully, then I'd probably place someone like Tagaros as 15th, just because early game he's a great nuker, but late game he's useless thanks to immunity. So Shimar, the reason why he is considered to be very good, very underrated, is because his attack speed increases as your HP decreases, and this is based on attack speed. So basically, if you're low on health, you do a ton of damage, and that's why Shimar's at 15. Okay, so at 14, we have. Let me scroll down and find him. Ramagos. Ramagos is good, but he's situational. You need to use him against fire monsters that are not going to completely destroy him. So Tsarion is a good one to use Ramagos against. And you don't want to take him into teams that have crowd control or stun or anything like that. So he's very situational. You need to build him, you need to ruin him properly to be able to use him effectively. But he's definitely not a farm monster to build if if you're struggling with water attackers, then he can be an alternative to that. Okay, so at 13 we have Rakaja. The first two skills are kind of irrelevant. It's the third skill, which is why a lot of people use him. One of the best heals in the game. It's an AOE between 45% and 55% heal. It's pretty powerful. His other skills are not that good. So, and also he's a 2-star, so he's a max HP. He's not that high, but still, he's pretty good. But he's above Ramagos and Shimar, in my opinion, because of utility. And early in the game, he can get you out of a lot of situations. He's also good if you have Brilliant, because the Brilliant will revive someone, even at HP ratio, and then Rakaja will basically take everyone to full HP every single time. So that's Rakaja. 12th on the list, we have Roke. My first 6-star, actually. He is definitely very, very good. He's very RNG based, so with the first skill. Second skill is only really beneficial if you want to, because it takes the cooltime by 1 off another ally which attacks with him. So that's the only time it's actually that useful. It does do a fair amount of damage, but it doesn't. When you use this, it doesn't proc the first skill. So this will not proc when you use team up, which is why he sort of needs that buffed, so that when you use this, he uses the first skill to attack and not just a normal attack, because he should be attacking multiple times when he's using this with another ally. It just never happens. So that's what I think of him. He, in my opinion, do not 6-star him unless you absolutely have to. I don't regret 6-starring him because he was my first farmer, but eventually he's irrelevant, and in fact I don't even have runes on him at the moment because he's just pointless. I have other monsters that I can use, but he's definitely one of the better farmable monsters that you can get. Very common to get from Famon. Well, not common, but if you need to grind for him, you can get him. and he's fairly moderately easy to skill up as well. So he's very good because of the passive. So if you kill someone, you get to go again. And he does decent damage as well. So that's Rogue. Okay, at 11 we have once I find him, it should show up soon. Chilton. Okay, so his first and second skills are nothing too amazing. I mean, the second skill can sort of do some decent damage, but the main reason is because of this. So you want him. You use Joltan against Darians and Bellas because they will defense break him, and everyone will attack Joltan, and then consequently they all take damage. So that's what you use Joltan for. And obviously, he is pretty strong. He does do some good damage, but mostly he's there as a tank to deal damage to the other team when they all attack him. So he's situational, which is why he's lower down at 11th on the list. Because you need to use him against monsters that have defense breaks, so that everyone attacks Joltan, or against a light team. But yeah, he's definitely very good. Don't underestimate Joltan, especially if you see him with a lot of HP. He can be very deadly. Okay, so number 10, and I've actually recently built one of these, and I'm going to ruin him fairly well. He's 5-star max. It's Tak. This may come as a surprise. Most people probably don't expect this. But he is one of the better monsters, farmable monsters in the game. He really is. The second skill is good. This does a lot of damage, and also increases your own attack speed as well. So you get to go again, and obviously you get a sort of mini heal. But that's not the main reason you use him. Is to make him as fast as possible and deal as much damage as possible with the second skill. This is like Shimar's skill. It hits a lot of damage. If you haven't. Go check out some videos on YouTube. He is easily hitting like 30k with like moderately good runes. So don't sleep on Tak. Okay, another reason is his third skill means that he attacks and he uses I believe he uses ambush or maybe the first skill. But regardless, he attacks and also two allies attack. So if you pair him with monsters which have the first skill does a lot of damage. So say Lucian would work even because his first skill does a pretty decent amount of damage. Yeah. So basically, pair him with double Lucian, you can probably one shot most monsters, and that's not even using the third skill of Lucian. So Tak's pretty good. Don't underestimate Tak. At 9 we have where is she? Colleen. Colleen is. She was already good, but she's got even more use because of Necro. Because Necro, you need to have Disturb HP recovery, which she has on the second skill. And all of these skills, the first two skills are multiple hits as well. And the first skill decreases attack power, so that's always good for bosses and things like that, especially for Necro. You see a lot of Colleens in Necro. If you check out the Necro percentage monsters used, Colleen is used frequently. She's in the top 10 for most used for Necro because she's farmable and easy to get and easy to build and easy to skill up because you probably pull her from unknown scrolls. That's how crazy easily she gets. That's how easy it is to get Colleen, okay? So she has an AoE 30% heal when maxed, and you also get attack power buff for 3 turns. So she is very good for coming back against opponents. So it's sort of like Chilton's second skill in a different way. Okay, so at number 8 we have Darien. Darien is one of the most versatile monsters that you can possibly get because you can take him almost anywhere. Arena offense, arena defense, dungeons, take Darien, and it's because of the passive. So it reduces the damage your team takes by 15%. And of course you have a attack buff D-break and a defense break. So Darien is pretty much useful everywhere. You can never not take Darien into a dungeon or anywhere, and he's always useful. He's always useful. And does a lot of damage when you have him with really good runes. Most builds for Darien are violent revenge or full revenge is kind of obvious. You want the defense breaks in arena defense, so yeah. I mean, people probably expected Darien to be in the top 10. Maybe some people put him higher, but in my opinion, he's at 8. Okay, so at 7, outranking Darien, some people may or may not disagree. In my opinion, is Callie. Callie is crazy. She is one of those monsters where you think, yeah, this might not do that much damage, and then you see it hit 50k or 40k, and you're like, okay, okay. So she can one shot a lot of the monsters in the game when you've got God runes on her, and also she increases the attack power and attack speed of all allies for 2 turns, and you become invincible for 1 turn. So she is very very powerful, very very fucking powerful. Um, and of course dots on the first skill, but that's not that important. The main one is this second skill. This can one shot a lot of the monsters in the game. It's crazy. Callie is definitely a monster that you want to build. Like if you're early game and you're struggling with a one shot fire nuker, build a Callie. It's as simple as that. Like if you've got decent fatal runes, should be hitting 20k. Like a Rang, like a different version of a Rang. She's crazy. Okay, so at 7, and I think most people would probably agree with. Well, actually, no, it's at 6. We're at 6 now. Seek. Not much to be said about him. He's crazy. Well, not crazy, but his damage isn't amazing or anything like that. I've seen this skill hit 15,000 a hit, so it ended up with 30,000. But that's not what he's there for. He's there for this attack power and critical rate of allies for 3 turns. This is used commonly in arena offense, and most importantly, he's farmable. Like if you put him in a team, he'll make all your nukers so much better. You commonly pair him with monsters with Rage Blade, because if you don't have the crit, if you've got crit damage on 4 and you need that crit rate, bring Seek. He'll solve that problem for you. So Seek is definitely worth to be in the top. He's almost made it to the top 5, but I had to put monsters I thought were actually better than Seek. But yeah, he's definitely very very good. Okay, so at 5, we have Almond. It was kind of a toss up between Almond and Seek for the 5th spot. And the top 4 are pretty much solidified. They're not going to go anywhere. But this was the debate. Because Almond, I 6-starred him, and I don't know if I'd say to regret 6-starring him, but I don't know if it was necessary to 6-star Almond. But I did it anyway. He's a good healer for sure because of the passive. If all you need to do is have 100% crit rate and then gets loads of HP. He's one of the easiest monsters in the game to rune. It's not that difficult to get 100% crit rate, in my opinion. And, well, actually, 100% of any single stat is not that difficult to get if you just have a slot rune with the percentage of that stat that you need to get. Well, yeah, you get the idea. 100% accuracy, 100% resistance, and crit rate are pretty easy to get. But it's when you have to get the HP or something else which becomes a problem. So he's very, very good. The end game rune build for him, it's not really, he's never really used the end game, but if you're trying to use him, then it's violent, and you have to hope that he procs a lot, and then obviously have 100% crit rate and as much HP as possible. He's very good. But he kind of gets fizzled out later in the game by monsters like Colleen and Lucian, who have disturbed HP recovery. And so yeah, he has a decent leader ability as well if you're starting off the game. Okay, so at 4, we have, and in fact, yes, okay, so we have, well, if I can find him, Bernard. Okay, so Bernard is one of those monsters which is utility. So the first skill is according to attack speed, so you want to build him super fast so you can do some decent damage with this. It doesn't do as much damage as Tark or Shumar or anything like that, but it does decent damage with speed. And also the second skill weakens attack power and defense for 2 turns, and this is a 2-turn cooldown when maxed. So this is very very good for giants, so you decrease the attack power. For whatever reason, I feel like the chance to decrease defense is a lot higher than the chance to decrease attack power. For whatever reason, it doesn't always decrease attack power, but either way. And okay, so this is what he's known for. increases the attack bar of all allies by 30% and increases their attack speed for 2 turns. So essentially, this is what is used in Arena all the time. You have to make him as fast as possible. He goes, and since the update, he uses Tailwind, this third skill, a lot more now. And yeah, he's very good. I don't recommend him for Arena defense because he doesn't always use the third skill, and this is common with Chloe and cases and things like that. They don't always use the third skill straight away, because most of your allies will have nearly full HP attack bars, so he doesn't think he needs to use it. But when you're only in offense, Bernard's very useful to have, because if you outspeed them, then you get a turn advantage, and you can just destroy them. So that's why Bernard's at 4. He's definitely very, very good for a farmable monster, of course. Okay, so at the third spot is Connemire. And the reason why he's at 3 is because there's not a single wasted turn with him. Like, there's no wasted turn at all. The first skill stuns. The second skill increases an ally's attack bar and attack power for basically 1 turn. So best thing to do with Connemire is make him slower by 1 speed than the monster that goes before him. So then that monster gets an extra turn. So it's great to pair with say Shannon or Veramos or something like that, where you want them to go quite often. So with Connemire, you need to sort the runes out effectively so that he goes just after the monster you want him to buff the attack bar of. But this skill is very useful, and also removes all harmful effects and recovers HP by 15%. You commonly see him used for Dragons B10. A lot of people build him for Dragons B10 for that reason. He's very good. And he takes you far in TOA and everything in the game. I don't really see him used in Arena that much. But for the most part, he's a dungeon monster. Simple as that. He's dungeon TOA. Very, very useful. Do not underestimate Connemire. Especially if you want to build Swift or go Violent for as many turns as possible, so you can use these skills. And that's the build for Connemire. Okay, so the second one, number 2, this is not going to surprise anyone, Shannon. She, again, same Connemire, no wasted turn at all. I actually 6-starred her because I could, and I don't regret the decision at all. She now has 20k HP, she survives getting hit by the giant like twice, so she's just made the Giants B10 runs even easier. So, glancing hit, AoE, decrease attack speed, and increases the attack power and defense of all allies for 3 turns. These skills are just so necessary for Giants. They're very useful for even Arena, or I actually use her in Arena now I 6-starred her, because she's not that squishy anymore. And the interesting thing with her is that if you look at all the user ratings and the rune builds people suggest, is they will always say despair focused. In my opinion, the only downside to Shannon is that she's squishy. So you should really be building her with tons of HP. Maybe energy runes, some focus runes, HP and accuracy. I don't see why people bother building her despair, because she's only really got 1 AoE, and it just seems like a waste to me. If your Shannon is getting killed quite often in Giants B10, then change the despair runes to something else, and I guarantee you'll see the difference. Because if you're already targeting the towers, then you don't need to stun them. And also, if you're using despair runes, right? Say your goal with this is to stun the towers in Giants B10 with the AoE, then you are essentially gambling on that happening. And if in that case, I'm guessing you're probably already targeting the towers anyway. So, and the reason why you're probably trying to stun them is because your Shannon is getting killed. So you see where I'm going here? If you make Shannon tanky, then you don't need to kill the towers straight away, and you can just auto like I do. So I'm going to post a video on the auto team, but that's for a different video for a different day. Okay, so number 1, I think you probably all guessed who it is. You can probably already guess by the fact I'm light in the light section. It's Bella. Bella is one of the probably the best farmable monster in the game because you can take Bella anywhere. Bella is used in so many farmable teams, dungeons, TOA. Basically, any team that needs a healer, Bella's likely in there. You see a lot of Bella even in arena defense because of the defense break, and she removes beneficial effects on a single target. So she's used for dragons because of that. She or he, I don't care. And then you also fill the attack bar by 30% as this. So you get as well as a HP recovery. So this is very good if it's very situational when the attack bar is needed, but for the most part, attack bar buff is never bad, and HP is never bad either. So that concludes it. I don't think I have anything to say about Bella. I had a bit to say about Shannon, but with Bella, it's kind of obvious. Bella is just probably one of the best monsters, farmable monsters in the game, if not the best. Debatable with some of the other ones, but I think most people probably agree with the top 4 in the order they're put in. But everything else is debatable. There are some interchangeable ones that you could, you could argue for. But for the most part, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.